for Monday, October 24, the 297th day of 2022. There are 68 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station 103.9 The Moose. Live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app, using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. And the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. Look back on a big weekend and a warm week ahead. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Happy to be in short sleeves.
Oh, yeah. It is a nice change of pace from last week.
Yeah.
Did you get all the pumpkin carving and the chili eaten and the cookies eaten and the bonfiring and all that stuff on Saturday?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, I did.
It yet again proved to me that the wind is always blowing in Windyville, Kentucky. Is that fair to say?
I think so.
I mean, so anyway, it was good to be there, and very, very beautiful portion of our area. So it was, we had to have fun.
It was fun.
Lineup of weekend activities. He is the 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newshawk Award. He's a 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Cincinnati. He's Sam Gormley and the Sparks. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Did you get all the candidates met? Did you met the candidates on Saturday?
There were quite a few candidates, yes.
Yeah. Did you spot any errors in any of the speeches?
I didn't have my fact-checking machine out.
Yeah.
So I...
You weren't Googling it? Did you have
No.
any chili or soup or anything
They had sandwiches. Little, like,
Sandwiches.
finger sandwiches.
that make you the Earl of Sandwich?
Something like that.
All
Yeah,
right.
you know, the Earl of something.
But then I noticed you got out and ran a little bit yesterday. Talking about that later
Yeah.
on in the show. So you were all over the place this weekend. But yeah, you were. I know one of the events you were at was, in addition to the football game, Friday night, you were at the Meet the Candidates night. Was that at the Parish Center?
There, yeah, the Catholic Church, yes.
Yeah, St. Joseph Parish Center. All right. Well, good. Did you decide who you were going to vote for in the process?
Well, considering that I don't live in Litchfield and that's all the people that we're talking, the answer is, I guess, no, because I can't vote for any of them.
Yeah, those were the only ones.
Yeah,
So you were able to be impartial then, because you couldn't vote for any.
Well, I guess I can't say that they were the only one. I did see Jeremy Logston, but he's running against unopposed, and
Yeah.
Unopposed usually
I
doesn't.
like his odds.
Unopposed doesn't usually come away with a
I'm
win.
going to go ahead and call that. I'm going to go ahead and call that race. I believe that one's for him. Going to be a warm week, and one of the things that will be included in our warm week is a significant chance of rain for tomorrow, about an 80% chance, and throughout the afternoon and evening, it could amount to about a quarter of an inch. Now, that's not nearly enough, but it is better than the alternative of zero, and so we'll take it. And it might knock down some of the dust and might diminish some of the really bad fire hazard that we're having right now. The local fire department spent the weekend taking care of fires and things, and we'll get to that in a moment. But rain will arrive tomorrow with a cold front, and we may have some storms possible in the late afternoon or evening. Clouds will gradually move out of the region Wednesday. Temperatures will top out in the 50s and lower 60s on Wednesday, but then back into the 60s and upper 60s. So we're going to go through a stretch which is a little more like fall, where you get, 2, 3, and 10 chance of rain every couple of days. And then if you look at the Halloween forecast, just a week out, it looks like maybe 30% chance of rain next Monday. Don't know what time of day that's most likely to be. But this looks like a late October. This looks like a late October forecast ahead after you get past today, where we'll be at 80. And 76 will be our high for tomorrow, and then overnight low tonight of 59. So that's what you can expect. Saw a bump in the road for the Biden administration on Friday, where a federal appeals court late on Friday issued an administrative stay temporarily blocking President Biden's plan to cancel billions of dollars in federal student loans. throwing the program into limbo just days before after people began applying for loan forgiveness. That's the Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals that issued the stay. And then they're trying to figure this out because that moratorium on repayment of student loans, my understanding, is set to expire January 1. So they're trying to figure out who's going to owe what and how much and when and all that good stuff. One of the banner headlines from the weekend, as far as I'm concerned, is the fact that the Grayson County High School Marching Band qualified for state competition after going through regionals over the weekend down at Hopkinsville. They performed at the Stadium of Champions on Saturday afternoon and have advanced to next weekend's competition in Richmond. Right? They will.
Well, they're at Madison Southern.
Madison Southern early, and then the finals are at, is that Roy Kidd Stadium? Did they rename that Roy Kidd Stadium? So the finals are at Eastern on Saturday night, and so bands from all over the state, well, let me rephrase that. Good bands from all over the state will be converging on that region for the state championships coming up this weekend. Big welcome home event for them this past Saturday night, so cold as ice.
And then also for regional, both cross-country teams made state.
They
so
did?
Congratulations to them for Grayson County.
Is that this weekend?
That was this state is, yes, this weekend as well.
But coming
yes,
up. So
they're
very
headed
good.
to Paris.
Congrats to the band. So should be a big weekend. By the way, they'll be leaving on Friday. So make sure you know, whether you have like a sign in town, you know, your marquee signs where you get to change the lettering on and do all that, make sure and do it upright. The band will be leaving town Friday. I think they're going to be rehearsing in Nelson County on their way to the Lexington, Richmond area for competition on Saturday. A combine became hung up in utility lines in Clarkson. I'm going to kind of go back to Friday and work our way forward through the weekend because there are several headlines to update you on. This happened Friday afternoon just before 2 o'clock. Police Chief Buck Meredith and Transportation Cabinet responded after a northbound combine snagged low-hanging cable phone lines in the 400 block of North Patterson Street, snapped a pole there, and caused some disruption to services and traffic and utilities. And so that they got that, I think, taken care of around 6 o'clock or so. So about 4 hours of hassle. Then throughout the weekend, I'll say it's a handful of various fires that were responded to in varying sizes of significance. Yesterday afternoon, Caneyville and Litchfield fire departments responded to Center Street in Caneyville, found a woods fire was threatening multiple structures. The large fire spread over a hillside from Center Street north toward 62, consumed about 10 acres. Center Street is right down the heart of Pumpkin Center. Mm-hmm. And so I did reach out this morning to check on the statue, and the statue seems to be okay. Some of the structures in the area, like 2 mobile homes, were destroyed, and 2 vehicles parked in a wood line off Center Street also burned. But the statue to the Pride of Pumpkin Center was not harmed, so that's good. The Litchfield Fire Department Friday night responded about 9:45 to Pleasant View Road. They also battled a woods fire on Annetta Road in the 4800 block Saturday afternoon. Yesterday afternoon, Annetta Fire responded to a grass fire out of control on Meredith Ridge Road. And so, you know, it's just, things are so dry. If a fire starts, it consumes a lot just before they can respond and extinguish the fire. National Weather Service has issued an elevated fire danger alert for today. Gusty south winds are expected to increase throughout the late morning and early afternoon. Low relative humidity this afternoon combined with ongoing moderate drought conditions result in an elevated fire danger. Remember, there is a burn ban, a statewide burn ban until after 6 p.m. daily. So you're not supposed to be burning before 6 p.m. daily anyway. And even Friday evening, the wind was still up Friday night, you know, at 8 or 9 o'clock. It was higher than it should have been if you're trying to burn. So
yeah, the wind decided it wanted to blow directly into our window of the press box all night. So it was
blew your hair back out of your eyes.
Blew our notes.
Oh, I see.
My notes all over the place. That was not necessarily the most fun.
I see. And I mentioned it on Friday, and I'll mention it again because I talked to the judge executive on Friday specifically about the burn ban. And I said, well, I mentioned this morning, I kind of knew what your philosophy is on the burn bans is that tries to allow the Forestry Service and those other people to sort of dictate those schedules, because what is really confusing is when you issue a ban and then it rains a little bit in a couple of days, and then everybody wants to know, well, are you lifting the ban? And it causes more confusion by doing it. Is that he hopes that people will just use common sense, that it's too dry to burn. It's too windy to burn, rather than having to play this cat and mouse game of is it or isn't it, or he's hoping that common sense would rule the day, but
might be having a little too much faith.
It's a superpower these days. A Caneyville felon has been arrested after running from and fighting with police for the second time in less than a couple of years. This happened Saturday night, about 11. Grayson County Deputy Nick Pruitt responded to the 400 block of Towsey Road to a complaint. They found 39-year-old Darren Ventress, multiple felony warrants, ran from the home into a wooded area. They caught Ventress with a suspect grabbing at the officer's firearm and a utility belt. Fight ensued before Ventress was detained and arrested. He was initially transported to Owensboro Health Twin Lakes and then lodged in a very fine accommodation at Hotel 36.
He's had better days.
Right?
Looking at him.
Yeah. No room near the ice maker or the elevator. Nothing but the finest accommodations at Hotel 36. Not noisy neighbors, nothing. The FBI announced Friday afternoon they have ended this week's search of property belonging to the family of the only named suspect in the disappearance of 35-year-old Krista Rogers. The mother of 5 has been missing for 7 years. The search began a week ago today on a farm at 345 Pascal Ballard Lane in Bardstown, which is owned by the family of Brooks Houck, her boyfriend, father of 2 of her children. He's believed to be the last person to see her alive, has been named a suspect, but has never been charged. An email and social media post from Jody Cohen, who is the SAC with the FBI Louisville office, says, we hope that the evidence, you hear that? We hope that the evidence collected will move our investigation one step closer to holding accountable the individuals responsible for Crystal Rogers' disappearance. FBI Louisville and all of our law enforcement partners are committed to successfully resolving this case and giving Crystal's family peace and, more importantly, justice. Now, I doubt they're going to pull out of there after a week's search and say, and turn up anything. So I don't know how significant the evidence, but I hope that word has weight. Hopefully the evidence they found. And I would imagine, too, that they're issuing that shot. They're kind of a shot across the bow, like,
we got something.
you might you might
if we
want to.
don't.
And so they may be trying to flush people out to make moves or sweat it out a little bit, and just to see what maybe might get produced as a result. Speaking of domestic type issues that lead to death, state police have announced an arrest was made Thursday stemming from a June 2019 house fire in LaRue County that was originally a death investigation but evolved into a murder case. State police arrested 36-year-old Joshua Wolford of Hodgenville for the murder of his wife, 30-year-old Chastity Wolford. This happened June 12, 2019. They received a call from the state fire marshal's office requesting assistance with a residential structure fire on Otter Creek Road in the Buffalo community of LaRue County. Preliminary investigation revealed that the fire department, when they got there, found a deceased victim was located inside the residence. The victim was taken to the state medical examiner's office for an autopsy and was positively identified as Chastity Wolford. Joshua Wolford was charged with murder, domestic violence, and lodged in the LaRue County Detention Center and was being held without bond on Friday. I was not aware of that story. That happened in June of 2019. A big weekend in sports. We'll go back to Friday night. It looked like the South Lawn at WKU looked like a sea of people there as DJ Diesel was doing the pregame warm-up.
I heard DJ Diesel was late, and a lot of people were upset.
DJ Diesel was late,
And I think,
and so did
like,
the concert go? Did it spill over into during the game?
Now that I don't know. I heard he was, a decent amount late too, like as much as 30 minutes late.
Really? So DJ Diesel is a diva and shows up late?
I don't know, but
I'm going to put him over here in the Madonna category. You better be careful.
but it seems like people enjoyed it.
It looked like a lot of people, though. It was funny how that Shaq is such a brand, and he appeals to such a broad amount of demographics that he's a big draw. Like there are a few celebrities, I guess, that you could hire to come in that could be entertaining, that would check so many demographic boxes. One, because he's kind of an anomaly. He's a fun ambassador as well. So well done to Western for getting that done. It created a lot of chatter, a lot of notoriety, and people talking about, hey, I'm going, or it's so just people all across the age spectrum, I noticed over the weekend, were sharing their experience. So I thought it was pretty neat. Austin Reed ran for 2 touchdowns, and the WKU defense didn't allow a point in the second half, and the Toppers won in an exciting fashion, 20-17, over UAB on Friday night. Sam, I know you didn't get to see that game because you were calling the Cougar game.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch. Pretty much, I got home as soon as that game was ending, so it was...
Cougars fell on Friday night to the visiting Ohio Owensboro Senior Red Devils, so that kind of locked in the playoffs.
Yep. Cougars headed to Greenwood next Friday. Hart County, though, on this Friday.
Sure. Aren't you much happier about going to G.R. Eanwood rather than G.R. Aves County?
Yeah. It's closer, but
It's a much closer road trip, isn't it?
They treat us well at Graves County, though, so that helps.
Sure. It's good to have that at the end of a long journey, but let's just avoid the long journey. Malik Cunningham threw a go-ahead touchdown pass to Little U's tight end Josh Lifson midway through the fourth quarter. Cunningham scored 2 TDs, helped lift the Cardinals over Pitt 24-10. That happened on Saturday. The Cats were idle this week, and they are preparing to go to Knoxville on Saturday in Neyland Stadium for a big showdown with Red Hot Tennessee. Bryce Harper's home run powered the Phillies past the Padres and projected them into the World Series. And then last night, the Astros went ahead and just put me out of my misery, swept the Yanks in the Bronx. Might as well. If you go down 3-0, you're not going to win the series, most likely. So just...
I did appreciate, and you probably wouldn't, the Astros radio guy. His line was good. What was it? Somebody tell me the news. You better break out the brooms. Or something.
Start spreading the news.
Start spreading the news. Break out the brooms.
Sure.
Break out the brooms.
Alliterative. Sure.
And
I don't mind that a bit.
I was like, that's clever. Well done.
Listen, the Yankees had the greatest season ever until the All-Star break. And then after that, they were just never the same. What was it like to be in Cincinnati yesterday, Sam?
It's a good day.
Bengals won, right? I saw that game was on
now.
Fox. Defeated the Falcons, 35-17?
Yep, and it was not close. It was dominated from the opening snap.
And Jamar Chase set a record, fastest to
Is that right?
2,000, yeah. I think maybe least number of games to get to 2,000 receiving yards. I think.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Or is in that range. I saw that stat on TV. You got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way. Hang around here on In the Know.
Rising prices are everywhere, from the gas pump to your electric bill. Kentucky's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives understand that these times are challenging. That is why we're doing all we can to keep your rates competitive and service reliable. We also have programs that provide options to help you manage your bill. To learn more about what we're doing for you, go to togetherwesaveky.com. Kentucky's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives. togetherwesaveky.com.
Kelly Thompson for appeals judge. He's a part of our Kentucky family. Vote for Kelly Thompson for appeals judge. Kelly Thompson, he's a friend to you and me.
Vote for Judge Kelly Thompson for Supreme Court. He's doing a good job for Kentucky.
Vote for Kelly Thompson for appeals judge. Kelly Thompson, he's a friend to you and me.
Paid for by Campaign for Judge Kelly Thompson, Laura Ferris, Treasurer.
There's no place like home.
At Beehive Homes of Litchfield, we know how to take good care of people, and it shows in the details. With our showcase kitchen, home-cooked meals, engaging social activities, and outstanding wellness care, Beehive Homes offers the next best place to home. It's more than just a lovely place to live. It's a warm, caring, vibrant community.
There's no place like home.
Beehive Homes of Litchfield. See our home today.
Hi, I'm Terry Beeler from Tress, and I'm asking you to vote for my husband of 40 years for the Litchfield City Council. Denny has always been a very hard worker and a good father to our 3 children. He will be a hard-working, full-time council member for the city of Litchfield.
Hi, I'm Dennis from Tress. I'm asking for your vote for Litchfield City Council on November 8th. I grew up in Litchfield and graduated from Grace County High School. I retired after practicing law for 35 years, but my heart never left. I promise the citizens of Litchfield that I will be a full-time, hard-working city council member.
Paid for by Dennis Ventress.
Apple has another iPhone update coming out today. iOS 16.1 will allow iPhone, iPad, and Apple TV users to access Fitness Plus even if they don't have an Apple Watch. Apple is also debuting its iCloud shared photo library, which makes it possible for everyone in a shared group to add, delete, or edit their favorite photos and videos. Tech billionaire Elon Musk has been branded psychopathic due to having no empathy. That's from a leading psychologist. Musk has become a decisive figure in recent months after revealing his peace proposal following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, while also restarting his bid to buy social media site Twitter. And according to psychologist and director of Head Honchos, Desiree Silverstone, she's analyzed his recent behavior. She says that can either be sociopathic or psychopathic. And a California company, Amprius Technology, is getting ready to demonstrate their extreme fast charge EV battery. The battery can charge from 0 to 80% in less than 6 minutes. Tech Report.
Now I had the time of my life. No, I never felt this way before.
Never felt
Yes, I swear it's a truth, and I hope it all to you.
Today is Bologna Day.
All right.
Mine has a first name, OSCAR. It's Food Day. Well, sure, bologna is a food. And it's Crazy Day.
Well, that's every day for
I
me.
like to say some of you aren't waiting for the day to celebrate. Some of you have allowed Crazy Day to spill over into all the days, I've noticed. I was reading, I told you on Saturday we did some, well, I didn't. I was multitasking on Saturday I was multitasking.
Yeah, you were something.
One of my tasks was eating no-bake cookies. One of them was, keeping an eye and make sure the sword fights weren't getting out of hand. I was keeping an eye on the Yankees-Astros game on my iPad. So that's another great thing about having YouTube TV. You can just be sitting out in the middle of God's green earth in Wendyville, Kentucky, and you can just watch the Yankees game wherever you want to on your iPad. It's really neat. Halloween is why are you shaking your head?
I'm just saying.
But one of the things I noticed in the pumpkin carving portion of the evening was a general consensus that we've shifted away from the traditional location of cutting the pumpkin open. Like my entire life, it's been saw that bad boy open around the stem, scoop it out, drop your candle in there after you're finished carving, drop the lid back on it, and there you go.
Is that not how you do it now?
No, it sounds like there's just been a complete paradigm shift on the way to do it, because they will advise you that your jack-o'-lantern your shelf life of your carved jack-o'-lantern is about 3 days. But your jack-o'-lantern is also held together by the stem. So when you sever that top and you saw it open, it starts to decompose faster. Whereas if you'll cut the bottom open, your structure of your pumpkin has better longevity because the stem's still intact. Yes, Miss Buckles?
I didn't know that was the reason. I have a different reason for it. But
What is the different reason?
well, So if you carve a large pumpkin, and it's easier to get your hand down in there every time you light the candle, right? But when you carve smaller pumpkins, it's harder to be able to light the candle, drop it down in there. You're burning your hand, whatever. So if you carve from the bottom, right, sit your candle on the bottom, the piece that you've carved, and then you sit your pumpkin on top of it.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes perfect sense.
It does.
But
And I will tell you, the 3 that I've done, the 2 that I carved the bottom first, they look terrible. Now, they've not had the same amount of time as the one that I did on Saturday, but it looks, it looks bad too. So.
Well, I also noticed that it really takes unanimous consensus on the bottom is the way to go, because if you get one traditionalist, then it kind of influences the decision. So when the idea of let's do the bottom, but you had one person that said, no, I'm doing it the traditional way, then everybody else was like, well, I need to do it the traditional way as well. I don't want to be left out. So I just thought it's an odd combination of peer pressure and paradigm shift on how's the best way to do it. So anyway, I was just noticing.
What was interesting is Caden was the one who decided he had to do his from the top. So the 2 little girls, Alea and Marley, they're like, oh, well, we have to do ours from the top as well. So her mama and I, we were like, fine, we'll just do it from the top. Well, guess what? The mama and I ended up
You all
carving.
got stuck doing the carving,
we
right?
did all the carving because the
sure.
2 girls wanted to go play.
But they're
So-
busy, sword fights and running around.
So
in the
had
dark.
we known that, we would have done it our way.
Also, it says don't coat your pumpkin with WD-40 or bleach. It does. It's harmful to animals, and 2, it doesn't really help prolong the life of your pumpkin.
Never heard of
I
that.
had never heard that either.
I have.
So I just
Because, especially you're supposed to discard your pumpkins, like feed them to the cows or.
yeah.
So don't
Do
be
cows like pumpkins, or
Yes.
do they just know how to complain? They do like them.
That's my understanding.
Have you asked them to get their feedback, or do you just notice they're gone?
Well, I'll ask May May.
There,
How's that?
sounds good. New survey says the key to getting more candy on Halloween is a more unique, creative costume. Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
Absolutely.
I didn't need a study for this. But I do think it's a good reminder for those of you that may not be bringing a strong costume game. Just be prepared. The more creative, the candy giver gets. There's almost just an auto physical response when they sense creativity and they get elated or delighted at the costume they're seeing. Boy, it just makes their hand open up and so much more candy falls out.
You get the good stuff.
I've just seen it happen so many times firsthand. And I'll tell you, kids, I know you think the Power Rangers are cool and you love them. All right. I would never try and tell you that Power Rangers are not cool. But I'm telling you, that's not going to ring the bell when it comes to the candy giver, right? The distributor is going to say, oh, well, you're a nice Power Ranger. Here's a single dum-dum. That's just how it's going to work. So do something. Look, wear your Power Rangers costume the rest of the year, when you're diving off your couch and wrecking your mom's living room furniture and all that stuff. Wear those costumes then, but let's step it up 3 or 4 notches for Halloween, because that's really where you're going to leverage that play into a bounty of Halloween candy.
Convince mom and dad to buy you the $75 costume.
Or I will tell you, just do the thing. Don't make it so obscure that a person can't figure it out, but do something they didn't see coming. Because that's the problem about the Ninja Turtle. See, you show up, oh, look at you, you're Donatello. Well, yeah, Leonardo just left. Do something that they didn't think. Do something that when their day began, they didn't sit down and go, well, yeah, I guess we're probably going to see a ghost. Step it up a notch. I might recommend Tylenol box or
I really do like the homemade ones, like the creative homemade ones. Like you can tell some effort was put in, but
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I do have. I am a little bit concerned. I don't have the picture at the ready, but the year that I did so I guess it had to be 81. I think we established a few weeks ago when I did the Tylenol box and got into the getup. I did paint my face the similar color to the box, and now I'm afraid that if I ever run for office, that's going to be used against me because they'll say I was trying to do some type of cultural appropriation. You don't think? Would they be able to tell that was just part of the Tylenol box?
No, I haven't seen the picture. I
don't
wouldn't know.
Okay.
I thought maybe I might have it here, but I don't.
Whole Foods Trend Box has 10 hand-picked items that supposedly are going to taste like 2023. So I was like, okay, what are these trends? Mm-hmm. You know, the majority of my life I didn't have to deal with kale.
Mm-hmm. It's good.
Or quinoa. Or
Quinoa?
I don't know.
Quinoa.
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 I'm trying to give equal balance and credit to all of the syllables and letters. Like, I'll eat it. If it's in something, I'll go, okay. But I didn't wake up with a hankering for any of it today, is my point. So I did say, all right, well, what's on the horizon that I'm going to be hearing about you got to have this. One is called Yaupon, Yaupon. It's an American tea that comes from a holly bush and is becoming popular both hot and in cocktails.
Never heard of it.
Innovations in upcycling byproducts from nut milk. More plant-based pasta alternatives made from both vegetables and fruits. Date syrup as a sweetener. I remember Mom would serve dates on things. Like dates. I don't know what dates are.
It's like a raisin almost.
Yeah, but they sound a little auspicious. It's like, I don't know.
And I eat raisins, but I'm not and I will eat a date, but I'm not.
Shoppers choosing chicken and eggs from companies that put birds' lives first. Oh, sure, bird lives matter, without a doubt. Kelp, a type of seaweed that is climate friendly. It grows quickly. So what, kelp's the new kale? Is that...
Kelp, I don't know that I want to eat any of that. I feel like it's stuff that's always floating in the ocean.
I'll bet it's been in something you've already had. You just didn't know it.
I don't know.
Let's see. Brands making an effort to reduce their climate change impact. Vintage snacks like pizza bites and cereals, reinvented as healthy treats, better quality dog food.
Nobody eats the pizza bagel to be healthy.
And avocado oil, which is finally going mainstream according to the grocery chain. So olive oil is out and avocado oil is in.
Apparently what it says.
Didn't we just have like an avocado shortage? How long ago was that?
Well, yeah. What happened? They got held up at the border for something. They were shipping something or another. Do we want to be that reliant upon Mexico for avocado oil? Avocado from Mexico. All right, let's talk about something that actually makes us happier. McDonald's is welcoming back the McRib now through November 20th.
Yes.
I've never had it.
You can find the McRib at McDonald's locations nationwide for a limited time through Sunday, November 20th. It doesn't say if it's launched already, but if it's not out today, it will be out in the coming days. The McRib was first introduced to the public back in 1981 in Kansas City, Kansas, where it quickly became a regional hit before expanding across the country and becoming one of the brand's most highly anticipated limited-time menu offerings. I love the idea. First, I am so grateful it's not available all the time. Mm-hmm. Because I would probably never eat it if it were available all the time. But the fact that it's seasonal, when they say, well, this is your window to get it, makes me go, I think I'll have one of those. So you're a fan, honey, of the McRib?
My yes was more of a reminder. But yes, I will have one. I'm like you. It's not so much, I mean, I don't love them. Please hold the onion. But I will eat them about once every 2 to 3 years.
So
not every year.
Where are we in the cycle then? One every 2 to 3 years.
Well,
How
I'm
long's it been
going
since you had
anyway
one?
for a different reason. So I guess I'll do that as well.
Okay, so we were over here with the Whole Foods and all the kelp, and now we're talking about McRib. Let's land somewhere in the center. Cheetos is launching their new mac and cheese box of bones for Halloween. So they're getting in the Halloween game. If you go to the store, you'll see Cheetos has mac and cheese at box of bones, so the shells are actually shaped like bones.
I feel like they'd already done this.
Yes, I think so.
Well, it might just be a return. I'm just saying they are also seasonally available. They're available starting today through Halloween, and so you can, throw a little Halloween joy into the pot for your kids when you're making the mac and cheese. But act now because, after next Monday or so, they won't be available until this time next year. So seize the day. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way. Hang around. You're on In the Know.
If you're a woman over 40, have you had your annual mammogram? Whether you're a mother, wife, sister, mentor, or friend, you're important to so many in your life. At Owensboro Health, we want to help you live a healthy life with the ones you love. Having an annual screening mammogram is one way to take good care of yourself, because you're worth it. Schedule your screening mammogram online at owensborohealth.org/mammogram.
I'm Grayson County fiddle player Jimmy Mattingly. When I walk out on stage to play with Garth Brooks or Dolly Parton, I need to know that I'm prepared the best I can be for the job. I've known Harold Miller for almost 50 years, and I know that Harold is ready to be mayor of Litchfield. He has a lifetime of experiences preparing him for the role. Vote for my friend Harold Miller to be the next mayor of Litchfield.
Paid for by Harold Miller.
Today, successful small businesses are lean, portable, and focused. If you're running your own business, you need to stay in tune to your customers, vendors, and employees. That doesn't leave much time for processing payroll and reporting, much less the overall performance of your business. The firm of Buckles, Travis, and Hart has a full offering of services for small businesses. Payroll processing, tax liability, unemployment, and financial reporting, just to name a few. Think of them like a built-in business manager, but they don't get sick and they don't ask for time off. Call or contact today to help get your business focused across the board. Buckles, Travis, and Hart, 270-259-5604, GraysonCPAs.com.
You may have been born to be wild, but you weren't born to be dead from a needless motorcycle crash. So when you're even just a little impaired, you do not get your motor running. You do not head out on the highway. What you do is get a ride from a sober friend, a taxi or rideshare service, or public transportation. Because you may be looking for adventure, but you're not looking for trouble. Please ride sober. Paid with funds through the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk, the facts about Orgovyx.
Orgovyx Relugolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer. Fact: Orgovyx is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovyx may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovyx can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovyx treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovyx may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with Orgovyx. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
Sports is about overcoming obstacles. This is Ernie Johnson Jr., and those are the stories I love to tell in the broadcast booth. But the courage of college athletes is more than matched by another group of young men, the boys fighting Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It's the most prolific genetic killer diagnosed in childhood, and there's no cure. But college football coaches are doing something about it, and you can help. It's called Coach to Cure MD. Text the word CURE to 501-501 to donate $25 on your next mobile phone bill, or go online at CoachToCureMD.org. Text the word CURE to 501-501 today. Help college football coaches cure MD. You'll be proud you did.
Brought to you by the American Football Coaches Association.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Twin Lakes weather. Clouds increase throughout the day today as highs top out near 80 degrees. For tonight, mostly cloudy, temperatures down into the 50s. For tomorrow, we'll see some rain moving in mainly for the afternoon and evening hours as a cold front pushes into the region. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
Sits a ragged tent where there ain't no trees, and that gospel group telling you and me it's love, brother, love, say brother, love's traveling salvation show.
Did you know 1 in 10 people in the world live on an island?
Well, I guess if you classify Australia as an island.
Yeah, I don't think they would. I mean, I wouldn't consider it. I wouldn't classify it technically as an
Philippines,
Australia.
Indonesia.
Yeah, just when you think about all that, it just, at first it sounded high. I thought 10% of the people. It was like 1 in 10. And then I started, kind of think about Manhattan.
Japan.
Manhattan alone.
Yeah.
When you figure out its population, okay, well, you start to add those in, and then just people that are dotted along all the islands, like the island of Japan and others. So I guess you can get to 10% relatively easily. It just certainly not 10% of the people I know don't live on an island. But
Some people live on some kind of island, though.
Right, absolutely. Love Island. Some people live on Love Island. Is that one of the Hawaiian islands they use for that?
I don't.
Do you know?
I don't. I'm not sure.
Black Adam dominated the box office with a $67 million opening on its first weekend. So The Rock with another big delivery to the box office. It was a $200 million bid to upset the power balance in the DC extended universe, dominated by Batman, Wonder Woman, etc. Black Adam at 1, Ticket to Paradise at 2, Smile at 3, Halloween Ends at 4, Lyle Lyle Crocodile at 5. Then The Woman King, Terrifier, Don't Worry Darling, Amsterdam, and Triangle of Sadness. So Maverick finally falls out of the top 10. I don't know, this is the first week, but just a few weekends ago, they got, $500,000 or something still in limited release. It did make me, it did make me kind of interested on where the DC universe is going. They were waiting for this Black Adam movie to go, and then they have a lineup of DC movies that will be coming on a regular schedule. For instance, in March, on St. Patrick's Day, the next one will be Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just basically letting Dennis write that down.
Yeah. I mean, he'd be the one to ask about all of these.
Sure. I mean, I hear Shazam and I think of Gomer Pyle.
I hear Shazam and think of the TV show
or the app.
Was it the show or just the app? It's
There's
both. Right?
There's a TV show called Shazam. Yeah. But that's something Gomer Pyle said. Well, Shazam. So then The Flash, June 23rd. Blue Beetle comes out in August.
I don't know what that is.
Nor do I. So, yeah. Christmas Day next year, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Well, if Dennis can't fill you in, I know a young man that apparently is on the track of these. So when we were carving pumpkins, Caden filled me in a little bit on some of these.
Yeah, see, that's where, too, it's going to be hard for me because if I have to pick one, I'm probably, I would imagine I'm a Marvel person because I'm a Disney person. So it seems like it's going to be hard for me to get fired up about the DC bus. Then in October of 2024, Joker. Then behind that will come Wonder Woman 3, The Batman 2, Black Canary, then Supergirl, then Man of Steel 2. So they've already got them. I mean, they've already got them stacked up in the pipeline on what's coming out. The latter ones I mentioned don't have solid release dates yet, but that gets us, I just told you, it gets us into 2024.
Which really isn't that far away.
It's not all that far. Did you know we're closer to 2070 than we are 1970?
That's what I read.
Netflix supposedly will end password sharing in 2023. This has been long since coming, but it will be interesting to see the limits they go to try and resolve this issue. I read a thing this morning that there's a pretty good likelihood that biometrics are going to be involved, if not soon, eventually, that so many of the televisions and most of the phones already have Face ID baked into them that in order to use the app, they may be checking biometric facial recognition to verify that it's you who's watching it. So I just presume that they will do something similar to kind of how Amazon is doing, is that you build a family for all of your Amazon services. And so if whoever's living in your household, and they can kind of verify that by IP address. Then if you travel, you kind of have to jump through some steps and say, well, I'm traveling, I'm not here personally. That's how they keep somebody from using your service who's outside your household. But then it strikes this balance of, well, what's a fair price? You know, what should you pay for your Netflix in order to be able to use it if you're a family of two? Or if you add a third person in a family of three, going back to creating more content. And I understand we've got to pay for content if we want more content to be produced. Like the dollars we're spending now aren't for the content that we're watching today. We're paying for the content that we're going to watch a year from now.
You're paying for the crown.
That's exactly
You're
right.
paying for them to make the crown.
That's right. So, but finding this, because there's just been such a shift in the way that this is regulated, and there was so much loss across these platforms because they didn't have a way to prevent people from sharing their password with their family members that live across the country or what. But they'll start to box that in to where they can get it to where you're paying for what you consume. And really, in the end, it's kind of like the difference of sneaking into the movie theater. That's kind of how you boil it down to the least common denominator. And we even kind of compare that. You say, well, would you pay $13 for a movie ticket? Yeah. Would you pay $30 to watch a first run movie in your home? No. Well, you get the travel expense to and from the theater. You get what you might spend on snacks, etc. So it's having to readjust ourselves on where the value in something is and what it's worth, and then also compensating the performers, the creators, etc., to have the content. Then this headline made me laugh. Gene Simmons responds to Kanye West's outbursts and says, "Take your medication." So it's October the 24th, 2022, and we've finally reached a point in our world where Gene Simmons is telling Kanye West to behave. Of all the things I thought was going to happen this month, I didn't have that on my bingo card.
Nothing surprises me with Kanye.
Hard to believe. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. Wrap it up for the morning. You're on In the Know.
Experts often say that goals are important for your career, your health, and your finances. But what about goals for your marriage? Hi, this is Jim Daly with Focus on the Family. My wife and I often talk to our boys about their goals. They usually mention things like grades or something related to sports. And those are great, but we like to encourage them to think outside that box. Like, what can they do to develop their character? And that got my wife and me thinking. Setting goals for our marriage is also a great idea. So we discuss our relationship in terms of themes. It could be forgiveness or grace or patience. Then we try to weave that theme into every part of our marriage. So not only will we actually try to be more patient with each other, but we make the theme a part of our conversations. Do you have marriage goals? A growing relationship needs something a little more inspiring than staying together together. Find ways to keep your interest in each other alive. Read a book or watch a movie you can discuss afterward. Have a common goal like saving for a vacation, or even better, build character into your marriage. Be more considerate, more patient, or more forgiving with one another. Without attention, a marriage can drift into an endless string of mundane days. But with a few small changes, you can bring energy and a renewed sense of purpose into your marriage. To help your marriage thrive, visit FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
Hello?
Hey, stranger.
Oh, hi. Thank goodness it's you. I was afraid to answer the phone.
Why? What's up?
The credit card companies are after me. They want me to make payments and the calls never stop.
Ouch. Been there before, but I got help from Trinity Debt Management.
Trinity?
Yeah, I called and right away Trinity contacted my creditors and got my interest rates cut in half. They ended all the late fees and over-limit charges, and they stopped those annoying phone calls.
Bet that was a relief.
Yep. Then they put me on a plan that consolidated my bills into one easy monthly payment. That way, I paid off my debt fast while saving thousands.
Nice.
Trinity even showed me how to plan and meet a monthly budget. So now I'm debt-free for keeps.
Wow. Do you still have their number?
Sure. Here, write this down and call 1-800-990-6976.
Can you repeat that?
1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
I'm Miss LaVon Steitleather, and I'm asking you to vote for Denny Fentress for Litchfield City Council. In my 42 years of teaching school in the Litchfield and Grayson County schools, Denny was one of the best students that I ever had. I promise you he will be one of the best city council members that Litchfield will ever have.
Hi, I'm Dennis Fentress. I'm asking for your vote for Litchfield City Council on November 8th. I grew up in Litchfield and graduated from Grace County High School. I retired after practicing law for 35 years, but my heart never left. I promise the citizens of Litchfield that I will be a full-time, hard-working city council member.
Paid for by Dennis Fentress.
Rising prices are everywhere, from the gas pump to your electric bill. Kentucky's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives understand that these times are challenging. That is why we're doing all we can to keep your rates competitive and service reliable. We also have programs that provide options to help you manage your bill. To learn more about what we're doing for you, go to TogetherWeSaveKY.com. Kentucky's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives. TogetherWeSaveKY.com.
Johnny was a schoolboy when he heard his first Beatles song. Love me do, I think it was, and from there it didn't take him long.
MB's point to ponder for today.
Got himself a guitar.
Am I the only one that just suddenly realized elevators don't have music anymore? Like, I've been riding elevators for years now, and there's no longer music in elevators.
I don't know that I could ever tell that I've actually really been in an elevator with music.
Because when I was, and so that might be a testament to how long it has taken me to realize there's no longer elevator music. And when did it happen, and why didn't I notice, I guess is my thing. So if you don't ever remember then you can say most likely in your lifetime you've never experienced elevator music. That means for at least 20 years I've been riding elevators and there's not been music, and I didn't throw a flag on the play, and I'm a little troubled by it.
You know, I have no idea. I'm trying to remember a time that I heard elevator music.
When we went to St. Louis and did the elevator in the Gateway Arch, that's a time where I could have benefited from some music.
That's a tiny little elevator.
It is a tiny little elevator. It's like riding in an egg.
It's more of a tram elevator.
Yeah, and I am also the person who, when they said it took, I was like 90 seconds or whatever the time, I started the timer on my phone.
You know, if they weren't right, what were you going to do? Like,
I just needed to know, well, in 20 seconds, this will be over. In 15 seconds, this will be over.
At the very least, he would have said something to the party he was with.
Now, you also could have taken the stairs, because I think they have a staircase that goes right next to the elevator. So if you'd rather have done that, that would have worked too.
Not after seeing the movie. Not after seeing the movie on how they made it. I'm not going to take the steps.
Yeah, it's like I said. I was like, what? We should have watched that after.
Yeah.
Not prior.
That's right. Delay that to the end
Yes.
after you're back on terra firma.
True.
Okay, on television tonight, of course, there's no baseball now until Friday. because both ALCS and NLCS are wrapped up. So game 1 of the World Series is Friday evening. Houston's got Houston's got home field advantage.
Yeah, because they were the 1 seed.
The Voice is on NBC tonight. Fox has 911, and ABC has Bachelor in Paradise.
I can't even. Patriots Bears, I think, is Monday Night Football.
I saw Landon Young's mother yesterday morning, so
good.
Gave her a rah-rah.
Did you give her a who dat?
I didn't, because I sometimes get them mixed up. I didn't want her to think that I thought that he played for Cincinnati.
Well, who day is first?
I was telling you, I get those.
You just got to always think that who day based on who to pull. That's your way to think about it. Cincinnati's own.
Really?
Huh?
Sorry, I got. Okay, Huda is for Huda Poll. Yeah. Today's highlight in history: this date in 1945, the United Nations officially came into existence as its charter took effect. In 1940, the 40-hour work week went into effect under the Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938. Makes me want to listen to an Alabama song.
Never had that feeling.
I know the song.
There are people in this country. All right. Jackie Robinson died this date in 1972. Rosa Parks died this date in 2005 at age 92.
Wow, I'm not sure I realized they both died on the same day. Well, I mean, different years, but.
Birthdays are bupkis today. Bill Wyman from the Rolling Stones is 86. Drake is 36 today. That's it. Got an 86 and a 36. And gone but not forgotten, it's a stretch. Y.A. Tittle was born in 1926, and I only said it because I wanted to say Tittle.
That's kind of a weak birthday grouping.
Yep. I don't know what happened to October the 24th, but it's inferior as far as I'm concerned. Let's go to some chart toppers. 1961. Jimmy Dean was number 1.
At the hip, and everybody knew you didn't give no lip to Big John. Big John. Big John. Big Bad John.
Why did you sigh at that? You don't like Jimmy Dean, Big Bad John?
I just...
All right, well, let's see if I can move forward into 1970. How about Jackson 5, I'll Be There For You.
Better.
It's an improvement.
Just look over your shoulder, honey.
Let's go to 1979. Larry Gatlin, Gatlin Brothers. Like to thank Teresa Buckles for my love of this song. She used to play the Gatlin Brothers on records all the time. Good harmonies from the Gatlin Brothers.
Actually, yes.
Always made me wonder, too, how do they get all that gold in California? I mean, we live right by Fort Knox, but they talk about all the gold in California.
49ers.
Maybe were the Gatlin brothers a little misguided? Did they settle too soon on California? All the gold in Fort Knox. Could have worked. Let's go to 1988, The Escape Club and Wild Wild West.
I don't care. I love her eyes and her wild, wild hair. Dance to the beat that we like best. Heading for the 19th.
I don't know what's happening in that music video. What was happening in that video?
They were shaking it in the 80s. That's how we did it in the 80s. Sam.
Only arms and legs?
Yep, that's right. 97, Elton John with a tribute to Princess Diana, and Candle in the Wind, 97.
With the sunset when the rain set in.
He said, Goodbye, England's Rose. Let's go to 2006 and Hinder.
About one of the most overplayed songs ever.
Well, before, give me a little credit. My other options were Nickelback, Far Away, and JoJo, Too Little, Too Late, which isn't too bad. But.
It's a rough day.
Yeah.
All the way around, right?
It's 7 years ago today. The Beebs, number 1.
What do you mean?
With What Do You Mean?
When you nod your head,
MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. It says, kind words don't cost much, yet they accomplish much. Kind words don't cost much, yet they accomplish much. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin Lakes, it's